Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the world of home tech with me, your host, Paul Hibbert, and welcome to the Zidoo X7. This is an Android box that is exceedingly cheap, and I'm exceedingly impressed with it. I know a lot of you saw the E-Great box about a month ago that I reviewed and said, Paul, the E-Great looks great, but I can't afford £200, you maniac. Give me something for closer to £60 and then we'll talk. Well, this is it. This thing is awesome. Here is me finding out it's awesome. So I reviewed an Android box recently called an E-Great, and I thought that was hilarious that it was called that. This is called a Zidoo. Equally hilarious. I'm not teasing you with a box, am I? Tease the box, okay. 4K, yeah. 3D, yeah. Android 7, ZUI, I'm guessing that's their interface. 4-core, 64-bit, 2 gig DDR3, 8 gig eMMC. Surely it can take more than an 8 gig card. Wi-Fi. Yes, that is an X7 box. Anything else exciting on here? Ooh, some file formats it can play. It's Android. It can play anything with the right software on it. So, buzzwords aplenty. Ah, well, that is exciting. It's tiny. It's a really, really small box. If this has got any kind of power, I'm going to be super impressed, because that is minuscule. Ready for the grand unveiling. Is it shiny? It is shiny. It's got some plastic stuff on it. My favourite part of every video. Get away! Woohoo! Super shiny. I like shiny boxes. It has an LCD screen on the front, which I'm assuming is going to tell me the time, and my missus is going to make me stick some tape over the front of that so that we can't tell what time it is while we're in bed, because she hates that for some reason. They are not blue, so I'm guessing not USB 3. There we go, USB 3 on that side. It's got a LAN connection, which I will need. It's got an optical connection, which will be good for my surround sound, and it's got an HDMI cable, which I'll absolutely need to plug it into my projector. So a little bit more basic than the last one, but it's minuscule, and that is a benefit to me. So some symbols that mean nothing to me. Okay, the symbols are telling me what's in this box. It's quite nicely packaged, I have to say. That is a universal adapter of some description. Some quite thin wire. I'm hoping this thing doesn't draw a lot of power. Could replace it with your own adapter if you were worried. I'll just have a fire extinguisher by the bed. That seems like the safest way. There you go, like Lego, I can build plugs. It's beautiful, I'm impressed. So far, I am impressed. I don't know what those things are. Who needs those? Us men don't use those things. Yeah, okay, that's quite a cute little remote. It's minuscule again. Everything is very small form factor, which is brilliant. I don't think it came with batteries. Ah, you cheaped out on me, Zidoo. Never mind, I'll forgive you, as long as your box works properly. Cool. Red, green, blue, as if we're back in the 90s and need teletext or something. I think that is the unboxing done. Let's go plug it in. So this isn't the first time I've booted this box up. I've lived with it for a couple of days. I thought that might be a good idea after the last time to actually figure out whether this did everything I wanted it to do. It does. It boots up in 37 seconds and it gives you this horrid wallpaper. So the first thing I'm going to do is change that. So you can just go to display, wallpaper, change it to something slightly more classy, or even pick your own wallpaper if you're crazy. And that gives you that. So that looks a lot more classy. So you start out with these things across the top. These are your usual sorts of things that you're probably never going to use. There is all of your apps. Your browser defaults to Chrome if you install Chrome, and not if you don't. I would install Chrome if you're going to use this to browse. Then you've got these things that you can't get rid of, which sucks a little bit because they are your usual, oh look how expensive our box is, it's supported by these people, when of course anyone can put these on. That is fine though if you're into that stuff. And more importantly then you get your tiles that you can put in yourself. So these tiles I just added by clicking this plus button over here and then picking the things that I downloaded that I wanted to see. There are 2 of everything in here for some reason. Doesn't seem to matter which one you choose. Don't know why they've done that. accidentally, I imagine. You've then got in your settings your usual expected sort of stuff, your Wi-Fi connections, etc. Wi-Fi connections, you've got 5G and 2G. Which is great because 5G is going to perform a lot better. If, like me, though, you're planning on streaming 4K resolution type stuff across your network, you're probably going to want Ethernet instead. So my Ethernet's connected. Bluetooth is ace because this means that we can connect a Bluetooth headset for when my missus goes to sleep because this is my bedroom. But also a Bluetooth control pad so I can play on my games, which we'll come to in a moment. Then you've got Bluetooth settings, which is just your typical Android Bluetooth settings. You can see my gamepad was connected there. USB is your USB stick if you've got one connected, so you've just got a nice quick way to get to things like Naruto if you happen to be on my missus and into your manga. So she's got that to watch in there. Ethernet is not Ethernet at all. It's your network settings, so Wi-Fi, that sort of thing. And in your power, you can switch the box off, reboot it, turn it to standby, those sorts of things. If you switch it off or put it into standby, you have to use the remote to wake it up. It's got no buttons on the front. Not really a massive issue. The remote's quite pleasant in the hand, I have to say. Am I going fast enough? I feel like I'm going ultra fast. But I think I have quite a bit to say, so I think that's fair. So Kodi we'll start out with, because I think this is the primary reason everyone is going to buy one of these boxes. Buy one of these boxes. It's great, I promise. This practically set itself up, considering the difficulty I had with the last one. I haven't had to do anything clever to make any of this work. The codecs that come on this box by default all just work. It's perfect. It doesn't matter what I throw at it, it works perfectly. So I've got obviously Goldberg's, because Goldberg's is the best TV show on earth.
Show me wax on, wax off.
So obviously very standard definition, nothing hugely exciting about that. Let's try something 4K instead to show what it can do. So this is a 4K thing that I downloaded off YouTube. That is playing in 60 frames per second 4K as far as my eyes can tell. My eyes are pretty old though. I'm sure a whole bunch of kids watching this going, I can see stuttering or something. They've got better eyes than me. Any stuttering you can visibly see will be because I'm playing a 4K movie all the way across my network from the PC downstairs while simultaneously screen capturing via this tiny little £70 box or thereabouts. I'm not sure if it's still £70, I don't know if it's more expensive or cheaper than that. Either way, it's worth every penny if it's under 100, I'd say, because this does everything perfectly. And with so little effort, I've had to do so little to make this work. So next, the most common application I could think for this is to play games. So if you are one of the people that saw my last Android box demonstration and you're all like, oh no, that's nowhere near as good as my Nvidia Shield, well of course it isn't, and neither is this. This didn't cost £200, it cost less than half of that. Everyone's going on about Antutu scores, like Antutu is a word, that's just ridiculous. But Antutu scores, this does terribly. But if it does so terribly, why does this work so well? What I don't really understand what the point is of measuring something if in reality it is meaningless, because this is amazing. So I've got my Bluetooth control pad. This is NBA 2K16, I think. I can't remember what it is now. But this is streaming from my PC next door. Now, if there is any kind of stuttering at any point, again, it's going to be because I'm simultaneously trying to screen capture. This thing is instantaneous. To my old boy eyes, doesn't seem to drop a frame. The only time I've found it fail in any way has been whilst I've simultaneously been trying to screen capture. But if you're trying to screen capture your video games running at 4K, then perhaps use a PC, not a £70 Android box. But check that out. That is playing my game across the network from my PC. I must point out you can only do this if you have an Nvidia graphics card that is capable of streaming. They are intended to stream to the Nvidia Shield, of course, but I am flouting that and making it work using an Android application called Moonlight, which is amazing. If the people that made Moonlight are watching, well done. Well done indeed. Because you've saved me over £100 by allowing me to play video games on this tiny little box. So I'll also point out that the Bluetooth control pad will navigate menus. That's an Android thing. That's not special to this box particularly, but it is handy. I'm now browsing around with the control pad. So if you wanted just a control pad at the side of your bed to control your Kodi box / gaming machine, you could do. So Mega N64. Next is another emulator. I say another emulator, sorry, the last thing we saw was a streamer streaming from a fully qualified PC that is qualified to do those things. This will actually showcase the abilities of the box itself. So if I just resume this game, it should... There we go, bring back Mario Kart. So ridiculous! How can this thing only cost £70 when it can emulate an N64, for crying out loud? I've also had it emulating the PlayStation 1 with no problem whatsoever at all. The only thing I haven't been able to get it to do is a GameCube, and that's because a GameCube is ridiculously powerful. For an older console anyway. When you're talking about trying to get an Android device to emulate something, you're starting to push the boat out with an N64. GameCube, rather. Look, check it out. I'm literally playing Mario Kart. I cannot believe it. Ludicrous. Yeah, I say playing Mario Kart, I mean falling all over myself very badly indeed. Anyway, that's the N64, so that is... How is that possible? I don't know, especially considering its Antutu score is so poor. That brings us on to home automation, so eControl and RM plugin, my usual standards. If you've not watched any of my videos before, these are the things I'm using to control my light switches, my plug sockets, and my TV and my amplifier, and all those things. That thing allows me to do it normally with a mobile phone, but of course it's an Android device, so I can use my little Android box to do so if I wish. But more importantly, the RM plugin, which is running all the time on this box, is announcing all of those things to Alexa, so that I can say, Alexa, switch the main lights on, and the RM plugin will switch the main lights on for me. If you haven't watched those things, go watch them. But anyway, that, again, if you're looking for another reason to get an Android device at only £70, there's another really good reason. It's always on and it's low power consumption, so it is perfect for home automation. It comes with a Play Store. Again, that's mega important because it means that I can go and set these things up without having to faff around. Without the Play Store, that would be quite awkward. Yes, File Explorer, everyone knows what that does. Antutu Benchmark, let's do it. Again, I'm not mocking anyone. I mean, if anyone's got an Nvidia Shield, I totally get why you've got one. If I had the money for an Nvidia Shield, I would get one in a heartbeat. I don't have money for an Nvidia Shield. This thing does everything that I would ever want to do with an Nvidia Shield. I'm sure there are a million Nvidia Shield people right now going, 35066, that's pathetic. I can't honestly find anything that I want it to do that it can't. Perhaps... the GameCube emulation, that is probably your answer to that one. If you're not interested in emulating a GameCube, then buy this box. So to be clear, I am not bagging on the Nvidia Shield. I think I bagged on it about 6 billion times throughout this video. I'm not bagging on it, I promise. I wish I had one. I don't have one. I don't have 200 and something pounds. I have £60. I am a cheapskate. That's what this thing is for. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see some more of this guy, hit that subscribe button. And as usual, I'll see you next time. And welcome to the Zidoo. Zidoo! I am not bagging on the Nvidia Shield. I think the Nvidia Shield looks... Loosen up.